Happy Sunday, Clinton County, Wilmington, Ohio, 45177. So, the topic of today is strategy. So, as we know, the judge is going to be going into his hearings in late November. And regardless of how those hearings go, uh, guess who's going to get a platform? Moi. So, if the Supreme Court says, "Yeah, you know what? I think we're gonna agree with the judge here." Highly unlikely, my theory, because doing that, by God, you're going to have the world, or not the world, but the entire nation uh, zeroing in on Ohio because you just unleashed an entire bag of worms. And that's the way I hope it goes, because then people are going to be questioning me. I'm going to have a huge platform. And I'm going to tell them exactly why. And people are going to start digging into my case and they're going to see exactly what fueled me. And let's just say, yeah, you know what? We're going to fight and we're gonna take this judge's law license, and he's gonna pay a consequence that he should have paid probably 40 years ago. I still got a platform. So, irregardless of what happens here, I'm going to get a platform. And when I get that platform, and when I continue spieling the truth to the American people of what this judge did along, and there's no other way of looking at it, because there's more than one lawyer in this local vicinity that sees what they've done, and they think it's going to continue working, and they think it's going to continue. No, it's not. I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not. My family will have justice, and there's no doubt in my Marine Corps mind. I don't fight a battle that's not worth fighting, and I'm not going to. I don't fight losing battles, and I'm not losing now. I may be my strategy is maybe slower than what some might like, but that's these things, they go slow, and that's okay. But when you got stupid people so arrogant, they're going to mess up. When they get so arrogant and they think that they're untouchable and they're above the law, they're going to foul up. And did he? Absolutely, he did. It's just a matter of time. It always happens. But then the exposure came, and a land. I mean, and a wave of exposure. I mean, you just can't. You're looking at all these things, and it just poof hit everybody in the face, and they just can't believe it. But then when they settle down, and they finally, hey, you know what? They're not wrong, and we're not. So, irregardless of what happens here, Sergeant Thomas, United States Marine Corps, is getting a platform, and when I do, the right one, stand by. And so, what's actively going on in court right now? So what some of you don't know. So, when this unprofessional, unethical judge took to social media, uh, stumping for his son, which that's what he was doing, and we all know it. But when he did that, he mentioned my case. He goes to a social media platform after recusing himself from my case, and then charges, tries, and convicts my case. I'm not allowed to do that. And so this is now um, new evidence showing complete bias. Why? Did he mention the crimes of the bank that was obviously committed? Nope. Did he mention the bank in any regard whatsoever other than them being right? Nope. So there's obvious bias and obvious trying to cover up his my opinion, corrupt act. Doing favors for his dead judge buddy, who I'm going to be honest with you, if I had the opportunity, I would piss on his grave. I'm just telling you, based off of what I've heard. Oh my God, the guy was a shyster. He was an absolute complete shyster, and a lot of people and citizens in Lebanon, Ohio, would say the same. I'm sorry that some of you get offended when I say things like that, but hey, you know what? It's the truth. I'm sorry that you put corrupt criminals and shitbags up on high on up. You regard them on high. I'm sorry, I don't do that. I don't respect these people. And if you do, I don't care. I don't. Someone who would use a position to harm. such a powerful position. I mean, and for greed and for money. I'm sorry. This country has enough of that, and it starts right here at grassroots, folks. It starts right here at this level when it's tolerated, or in this case, feared. You know, I went to some local lawyers. Oh, sorry, Tony, I still got to work here. You've heard that story a million times. But sadly, my attorney explained that to me, and I understand, because going against him would have meant, hey, you know what? You're going to go against me. I'll show you the next time you're in my courtroom. He's not going to get a favor or favorable outcome, or they're going to be as stern as they can to prevent him from having a favorable outcome. That's how these shitbags work. And the sad reality of that is that's tolerating crime. What else is it? You are an officer of the court, and someone presents to you criminal acts, and you discard it because you have to work here? Where's the balls in these people? I mean, I don't know. But I mean, there's means and measures that some of these people can take and say, hey, you know what? We don't like how you run the bench around here. We're going to turn your ass in. All of us. We don't have to take your unethical ways. But then again, how many of them have partaken in corrupt acts that the judges let slide? Is it a big corrupt circle? Hey, remember when I did this for you? Remember when I did it? I think so. My opinion. So, yes, platforms abound. It's coming. It is. So, irregardless, okay. So, currently in court, the plaintiff has stated that I cannot. This case should not be reopened because of res judicata. Res judicata is pretty much saying that, hey, you can't try something twice. Well, the Ohio Supreme Court plainly states that res judicata cannot be used in a regard to where it's pretty much allowing crime. They've stated that plainly. And I found that little tidbit. Not only that, is there evidence that exists today that didn't back then? Of course, complete bias. And I couldn't have seen what the judge was going to do in 2024 back in 2018 or whatever the date this was. I couldn't have been foreseen, but he proved his bias. He showed it while being unethical, while breaking his judicial code of conduct. He's not only shown himself to be not so competent, but unethical, and he's being charged for it. There's people out there say, oh, I would do the same thing for my kid. Really? In their 40s? You would risk your career to go to bat for someone who's a compulsive liar? I said it. Come sue me. I can prove it. That's the difference between a lot of people. Daryl and myself, we can prove it. So, anyway, I can't wait to see how this pans out. Regardless, and hey, guess what? If they don't, go along with the Ohio Supreme Court, however it settles out, there's going to be witnesses, and I'm going to be one of them. So there's that, and they're going to get to hear exactly why I am livid and point out all the the horrible things that this guy did. So I'm sorry, forgive me. Anyway, I think I've been doing better. I really think I've been doing better. So anyway, this vagrancy thing we got going on here. Has anybody ever thought that like this drug court and the Sugar Tree Ministry involved in recruiting all these vagrants from other areas to come here? Has anybody ever thought that? I do. I mean, the drug court couldn't exist without them, and Sugar Tree Ministry certainly couldn't exist without them, because I think at one time we only had like three or four or five homeless people at one time that I can remember. I mean, that could be seen, that didn't bounce, to and from other people's houses and sleep in cars and stuff. Now they're everywhere. I mean, could could Judge Ruddock's drug court survive without the vagrants shipped in here from all over? And yes, they've been shipped here. I've seen it with my own two eyes, late at night, right up from UDF, popping out of vans, getting out with suitcases and backpacks, and they just disperse. Watched it with my own two eyes, as did my children, as did several other people that were shopping and enjoying ice cream that summer evening. They saw it with their own eyes. Um, so I think the root cause there would, hey guys, you want to find out what's going on here? Catch the vans dropping these people off or however they're getting here now, and then find out what kind of crap story they're telling them. Are these people being promised, hey, you know what? Free food. Oh yeah. And guess what? Guess what normally comes with addicts? Trouble. They normally get in trouble because guess what? If they don't have a way to supply their addiction, they're going to steal. They're definitely. I mean, I've known a few addicts. It's not funny. There's nothing okay about it. But it comes with the territory. They're going to commit crime. Well, gee, once they commit crime, where do they get to go? The drug court. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I believe these people are creating their own reason to exist. I do, and the bottom of that's going to fall out one day. I think the overwhelming majority of the citizens of Clinton County are going to overrule the little pocket of people who never have to deal with this stuff. Driving down the road and almost running them over when they roll out in the middle of the street when they're on drugs and tripping on whatever they're tripping on, defecating in the middle of the sidewalks. Yep, they've done that. Peeing on the sides of buildings in broad daylight, causing all kinds of public disturbances, stealing from residents, stealing from stores, you name it. So, and keep in mind, somebody brought him here. I saw it. Why? Was it to make sure the drug court thrived? That's human trafficking, folks. I mean, it's literally uprooting a person who is down and out in one area and putting him in another area for gains of some kind. And that's sick. That's disgusting. And these people, oh, we're helping them. We're helping them. Who says they weren't getting help where they were at? None of them look like they're starving. The ones I saw, that's a simple fact. They looked well fed. So, I mean, again, by no means am I, not for helping, homeless people, the ones that really want help. But a lot of these people, oh no, they're happy right where they're at, getting free food and getting drugs, because they'll take their food card, they'll swap it for drugs and get free food at the ministry. And then in the meantime, get in trouble, go before the drug court and keep it thriving. See that little mad machine going on there, folks? I mean, come on. You got to be blind not to see it. Again, I'm not against helping people in need. I'm a child of two addicts. Did I like that my parents for no, I didn't. I mean, I went through a lot of tragic shit because of them that scarred me for life. And but on the same token, I also see the flip side of this, where some of these people get addicted because doctors give them medicines and they simply their pain overrides it and they need more, because that's what happens. Your body becomes so used to a certain dosage, and guess what? The pains fights or pushes through it, and you got to have more. I watched my mom go through it, that part. But prior to that, my mom was did injectable. I don't know what she was injected, but I saw it. There was needles in my house above the door ceilings, and the house was raided a few times back in East Nashville when I was just a young kid. So I mean, it's not like I don't have any experience with this, because let me assure you, I fucking do. Sorry, I'm sorry. Um, so I'm also not going to um, I'm not going to sacrifice um, those who aren't in harm's way and those who aren't um, uh, and addicted and for those who are these people work hard to maintain a living standard in this little community that used to be pretty daggone nice. Really, it used to be a place where you really didn't think about leaving your door unlocked. That's a fact, and that was just back in the probably early 2000, late 90s. I mean, it's something that's not that far ago. Now you worry about walking the bike path and getting shanked or raped or robbed or beaten or encountering dirty needles. I mean, who ever thought that would be in Wilmington, Ohio? I'll tell you, somebody's recruited them. Somebody's bringing them here to ensure to ensure their existence and to ensure the funnel of money that's going on. This is my opinion, because who is gonna leave where they're at, outside promises, to come here? Okay, if I'm an addict in Dayton, no, let's not use Dayton. Dayton's getting rebuilding. I'm not gonna down Dayton anymore, because what I hear, Dayton's coming back. Let's use say there's some from Cleveland. Who's going to leave Cleveland, Ohio, to come here without some type of promise? Hey, the food kitchen's normally wide open. There's not very many people there. You're going to eat every day, no problem. Whereas some of these bigger cities, their food kitchens run out, and if you happen to be the last one in line, you're not eating. But on the same token, these larger cities, they have resources that can actually help these people if they wanted them. There's only a certain level you can get here. What I'm told. I mean, are we literally trying to create now a sanctuary city for addicts to come and, hey, we'll get grants and we'll build large addiction facilities? I mean, I have my theories and I have my beliefs and I have my opinions, and that's it. I believe this is a self-created problem that none of these people have to deal with outside. Well, anyway, prove me wrong. I mean, and another thing, I've got a question. Lee promised me he would come on here, and I believe he will. I want to know why he would. I mean, it's not of his doing. Perhaps he was asked to be on this board for the drug court. I would like to know, his education and if it warrants being on such a board, or if it's just because he's a part of Sugar Tree Ministry. It's a question that I would like to hear the answer to. That's all. Not degrading, not defaming, none of that stuff. I mean, it's a legitimate question. I mean, in fact, there's a couple of people I question that are on this board. So anyway, I hope and pray. I mean, for all leadership, I pray for these people that have done me harm. From my heart, I really do. I sincerely do. I pray that it's something that's not tragic, that opens their eyes to see what they're doing, and they walk in the light of Jesus Christ and God Almighty, or whomever they follow, that brings them their source of enlightenment. I pray for these people. I really do. It's disgusting that there's people that they're harming, and their positions. Their positions are anything that's supposed to be of honor, integrity, and loyalty to their country and to their code, and they're anything but. They're disgusting. They're liars. The people that you really need to trust, you can't. I mean, you really can't. I mean, if there used to be a time where, I mean, no, I'm not going there. But in any way, strategy is always awesome. It's good for the soul. It's good to see it work. And so regardless of what happens here, I'm either going to be called as a witness where I will speak, oh yeah, and or they go along with him and say, yeah, you know what, we can let that, and therefore you're going to get news, the media like, whoa, it's going to race. I mean, it's already in legal magazines. So this whole social media thing, with the bench and pushing for candidates, I mean, this just happened to be his kid. And okay, so in my honest opinion, I think that's a bullshit rule. How could you not want to what's the word, root for your son and something that's um, so meaningful? How could they make such a rule to where you can't? But it comes with the territory as being non-biased, I guess. But do I think certain stipulations should be? Hey, you know what? If this, it's just like I couldn't imagine sitting on the sideline of my son's baseball game and having to keep my mouth shut. It's, yes, I know there's just comparing apples and oranges here, but not really. So, but on the same token, he used that as a platform to do something else. And I think he knew in his heart of hearts. I think his kid knew in his heart of hearts he wasn't going to get that. He was never going to get that position. It just wasn't going to happen. Um, and it wasn't because of any type of the types of things that were exposed a year prior, almost 2 years prior to that. It wasn't because of that, or it could have been, and that's a good thing. Hopefully, people were listening and said, "Hey, you know what? The moral compass of this guy is not where I want. What I want to see on the bench. I mean, who throws hammers at their kids under any circumstance? Who does that? I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, hey, go for a long one, kid. I mean, who does that? Wait a minute. Go deep, kid. I got you. I mean, it's nobody does that. It's horrible. It's absolutely. I mean, and I think everyone, they saw it. Like, yeah, man, that's gross. That's pretty disgusting. I mean, under what in what mindset does someone sit and think, hey, I'm going to use this hammer to throw at you, but I'm going to teach you that the brain won't allow you to hurt yourself. I assure you, young men, if you ever see this, I think by now you know it will. And so, was that some kind of bizarre excuse or just something that he pulled out of his bag of goodies that day? Probably. My guess. I mean, I think he's smart. I think he's smarter than that. I think because he knows, there's suicide, and he knows that there's people out there that have they get like what's that? Where they self mutilate, where they take screwdrivers and knives and possibly claw hammers and gouge pieces of their skin out because it's a sickness. Did their parents throw hammers at them? I don't know. Did their parents cut them with knives and all of a sudden they need it for attention? I don't know. But in any regard, that's sort of like a but yeah, I think the whole non-bias piece is what that rule is there for, and I understand that too. But then again, he ran for other stuff, and I don't remember seeing the judge. I think he ran uncontested, maybe. I don't remember seeing anything that was So that's going to be a good thing to research. I'll get back with you on that because if I'm not mistaken, he ran for that position he had, but I mean it was uncontested. But still, I wonder if there was any. Hey, go Brett. You're not going against anybody, but by golly, we're proud of you. Anyway, I pray for this community. I pray for I pray that our new prosecutor his. I pray his compass is nothing but integrity at all times. I pray that it's honor, and that he does not dishonor his position in any way, shape, or form. I pray that the new judge is removed, because he's no better than the one being removed now. My opinion. I can have that opinion. And I've had no reason to think otherwise, other than the man, openly admitted to not viewing all of the evidence when presented, where someone's lost a child, but made a decision to not pursue charges. That's a problem. And this being the same prosecuting office that prosecuted and sentenced a man to life in prison, for murder with no body or no weapon. I mean, figure that one out. They had 2 liars on polygraphs. They had ample amounts of now missing evidence, like the rape kit that Judge Ruddock, for some reason, oddly enough, I think I'm going to destroy this. Yeah, I think I'm going to destroy this. All while Mr. Riley was under investigation, and under one of the biggest investigations in the city police department in the history of Wilmington, Ohio. Probably didn't want BCI to find that one, did we? But anyway, who knows about that one? But I think it's awfully peculiar that during this investigation, that Casey's rape kit was destroyed by Judge Ruddock. So, and I also find it kind of odd, the other female who's been mentioned and who showed up at a council meeting, that her kit has been sealed and they won't even give it to her. Concerning the same person, same alleged person who allegedly assaulted these women. Well, the second one we don't know, but I bet you, if that rape kit still existed, I bet you we'd know then. But I think that one's going to boil down to at some point, because if I know Daryl and I know Greg, the momentum, even at this point, it's going to come down to, hey, there's going to be a lot of light shined on this little community sooner rather than later. I think a lot of people know that, in certain positions that they're just kind of being quiet about. So we'll see. I mean, I've heard little birdies talk about lots of indictments coming out. I don't know. Is it possible? I think so. Because, man, you've got Helen Rowland admitting to attorney John Judkins down there in Greenfield that she was biased, and perhaps she should have given it to Judge Ruddock. And what difference would he have actually been more honest than you, or would he have been worse? I mean, I wonder what that threat was about, or not. It wasn't a threat, or that statement. I wonder what that statement meant. Perhaps, hey, Helen, I know you enjoy watching these. Hey, put us a little comment down there. What were you thinking when you told John Judkins that? Perhaps you were biased. Well, that would kind of fall in suit with your boss up there, right? Right? Or I can't wait till the national news comes in here and starts crowding you with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit that these children are going to file against this county, and you're going to be named as a witness as being either manipulated or involved. I can't wait. It's going to happen, and you know it. Hey, there's that national status you're looking for there, Miss Underwood. It's coming. So you can count on that. That's going to happen. Henceforth, these people trying to seal that case last month. I mean, and here's the fun fact: neither of the parents agreed on wanting it sealed. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. Any human being that would knowingly remove children without any evidence whatsoever, none, no medical evidence, no criterion needed for the Ohio Revised Code, knowing in your heart of hearts that this mother was not a bad person, and prior to this had complete custody of these children, They lived with her. But all of a sudden, to bring in the likes of Linda Gottlieb, who was recruited by Christy Underwood, and then remove these children for up to almost 3 years of their lives, taking their mother. Is it because, this is cruel, I hate to say this, but people who are parents who have had children in their womb, or whom have raised a child as a father, they know what it's like to be stripped of their children. And that is cruel and inhumane. And I think you knew it. Otherwise, what about the statement? Perhaps you were biased. To a lawyer? Oh, come after me after the come get me on that one. I dare you. You never know what type of devices are running around in that courtroom that are recording. Who knows? But again, not one. This mother had never been proven unfit ever by no medical doctor. None. And in fact, quite the opposite. Never proven unfit. Never charged with a single crime. Never met a single criterion needed per the Ohio Revised Code to remove children. Yet there was a police report claiming the abuser, in fact, did abuse the children. There was a medical report, not once but twice. One but made by Dr. Gabbard. Then there was photographs, and then there was audio of the incident. But yet somehow, Brett Ruddock and his buddies over at CPS, yes, I say buddies, because this is going a little bit outside of Ohio where CPS is involved, because I got some friends in other states that work in this similar areas, and they're viewing this, and I'm gonna get their opinion, and then I'm gonna provide it, because you know what? Abuse is abuse, no matter what fucking state you live in. You fucking monsters. That's what you are. You're monsters. You are monsters. And you have scarred families for the rest of their lives. And you people think I care if your families come to you and question you about this. They need to question you about this, because it's the truth, and they're going to find out regardless if you like it or not, because one day the news media is probably going to be knocking on your door, holding a microphone in your camera, say, how could you do this? How could you do this? You know it's fake. You knew it was fake. Anyway, it's coming. I think you know it's coming. And in the name of what? Who made out like a fat rat here? A lawyer.